So that's where the pipeline is coming down there. We had our water ceremony down here. We're here standing in the way of Trans Mountain wanting to drill underneath the Thompson River. Everything that we stand for today is to always remember where our food comes from, where our water comes from. This Thompson River, Secwepemc, this is that large body of water that Trans Mountain wants to go under the river with.
Today, I am announcing that our government has newly approved the Trans Mountain expansion project going forward.
After weeks of protests and trade threats over the Trans Mountain pipeline, the Prime Minister made clear his government will do what it takes to push the project forward.
We're here self-determining right now, saying we don't want this fucking pipeline.
All of BC is unceded, unsurrendered lands. We've never signed a treaty. We've never surrendered our lands in war.
The Trans Mountain Pipeline will impact an estimated 117 Indigenous communities, from the tar sands in Alberta to Burnaby, BC.
No country would find 173 billion barrels of oil in the ground and just leave them there.
The damage that's done can't be undone.
Make sure there's no fucking pipeline going under our water.
They say it's good for the economy, it's good for the people, but we know it's not.
There's been higher rates of incidences of trafficking.
Don't forget about accident. You want to dump me just like all the Indigenous murdered women dumped to the fucking side of the road.
They say this is about more than just the Trans Mountain Pipeline expansion project. This brings into question reconciliation and just how serious the federal government is about that. I would expect that there's going to be some protests in response to this and that it is not going to be a smooth road ahead.
We are the people, and we are the law.
Secwepemctsín. I'm here in our traditional territories, and we're fighting against the Trans Mountain Pipeline. And so it's very important for the voices of all of the peoples that would be affected to have their voices heard. We've gathered all of our people together to voice no in this opposition, to say no to Trans Mountain Pipeline. It's been over about 7 years now that we've been fighting against Kinder Morgan, now Trans Mountain Pipeline. And the importance for our family and for the nation to know what the devastating impact the Trans Mountain would bring upon us is the waterways. lived here from time immemorial, and so it's our families that maintain the waterways for the salmon and saying no to these larger extractive industries. Mount Poly was one of them. They had the Big Bar Slide, and then Trans Mountain wanting to drill underneath the Thompson River. And so our families, not just from here, but all throughout Secwepemc territory, take care of all of Secwepemc.
What they're doing is wrong, and we have to stand up for the injustice that's happening to us right now.
If you look down in there, that's where they tried to drill under the Thompson River right here. This was the actual one that got stuck. They hit rock when they tried to drill under the Thompson River. Altogether, 9 of us were arrested on wanting to stop this pipeline. The part about protection is that we're still here, and you know, we're still having to go to court, and we're still having to prove our existence, and still the ownership of the land and care of the land and all of those things. And like our grandmother would say is, yeah, we don't own the land, we take care of it. The land owns us. If you're living in good faith that you're taking care of Mother Earth, then we wouldn't have a problem. But this is what it's come to, you know, oil and money. So it's a shame. It's just hard to see. You know, all of our efforts and all of that, you know, I could say it's not for nothing, you know. It's for a lot of things. So I can't speak too much about this because it's not within my territory, and they have their own structure, but I'll leave that up to Billy to speak to her own territory. And I know, like with all extractive industry, it's almost all the same. So
my name is Billy Pierre. I'm from the Sewllkwe Nation. We're here on my territory in so-called Merritt, BC, in the Nickel Valley. The Trans Mountain pipelines had a really big impact on the community. There's been a lot of deforestation. A lot of our water has been impacted by the pipeline. There's been leaks. There was a rupture, I do believe in 2013, on one of the reserves. It's never been properly cleaned up. There's been higher rates of incidences of trafficking. I do believe that, you know, sex trafficking is seen everywhere as something that really increases with these big mega projects.
I am standing on my legs!
I was arrested with some others in Kamloops in October, and that was when Trans Mountain was gearing up to drill under the Thompson River. And there'd been ceremonies done there by Secwepemctsín TMX for weeks. There's more places where they want to drill underwater, not just the Fraser, not just the Thompson, but there's other waterways. There's ancestors that must have been disturbed along the way. In September on my own, I for a day stopped some logging up in Falls Lake, and it's a very, very biodiverse area, and the trees there were beautiful, and they've been logged now. I just never wanted to see that happen. That's the first step, is the logging. And the impact that it has is already being felt. Like, even if this pipeline stopped, like, that still took place, and that's hunting grounds, that's animal habitat. And these trees aren't fucking money. You know, these trees are family, and it was really heartbreaking.
Sewllkwe. We're still here. Secwepemctsín. This is our land. My borrowed name is Denise Douglas, and I come from here in Chiam, but my ancestry comes from the entire nation. I am a Coast Salish. We've been here since time immemorial. Secwepemctsín. This is my land here. This is what my ancestors left me. And when I was asked what is my land here, if I turn in a circle, it's the entire circle. This is all my land because of who my ancestors are. Excuse me, this is our office?
Yes.
I'd like
So move out of the way.
The folks inside.
Excuse me, this is our office. Our office, I've been assured on Facebook, is open as usual today.
My understanding from the folks inside.
Pierre Trudeau, or not Pierre, sorry. His son Justin came and took over our band office for the day and kicked everybody out. What happened that day was, I don't know where he found the biggest guards in Canada. There was a whole fleet of these big people, and they were all blocking our band office, and I was mitigating a potential police brutality situation of a mega size. That's how they bullied the pipeline through. They were giving our people jobs on the pipeline as they were going. They're offering them beautiful paychecks, and a lot of them got the jobs, and they had the training programs at the same time for everything in the band office. So what they did was they set up the infrastructure for the pipeline. Before they even sold us the pipeline, they're selling us the infrastructure, and they're buying it with native funds. So anyways, Chiam ended up signing the deal with Kinder Morgan. That's my band, even though I voted no.
Wow. Okay, that's really amazing. My traditional name is Halia. I'm from Tsleil-Waututh and Tulalip. Salmon are such a huge part of our culture, but also the animals that live around us, like the eagles, for example. That's what they eat and what they care for. So the livelihood of the salmon is so important to us. That's what I grew up on. It's all I've known, is giving thanks to the salmon and putting the bones back in the water and always praying and saying thank you for giving it spirit, for sustenance, and being such a big part of our culture and our environment. I remember when I first found out about the Trans Mountain Pipeline project, and my dad came to me and he said they want to put a pipeline through our territory, then it would increase the tanker traffic quite a bit through our inlet, our sacred inlet. And that means that there's a higher chance of a spill, and that means there's a higher chance of it destroying everything we love most. Since that day, it was immediately, no, we're not gonna let this happen. For half of my life, since I was around 11 years old, I've been actively opposing the Trans Mountain Pipeline, and I'll keep doing it until they stop. The risk is too great. It's too great, not just for us and our people, but for all people too. Those animals, the salmon, the fish, the clams, the whales, the seals, they all have a right to live, and they all have a right to clean water, regardless of their relationship to human beings. They don't have the voice to say it, so that's why we have to say it for them.
put on this earth to kneel down in a white man's court and ask to be able to protect our land. That's not how it works.
What it means to be Secwepemc is to stand up through this word known as Knucswmens, and Knucswmens means to protect the earth and to protect the people.
I got Mother Earth, I got our ancestors all behind us, so I don't see them as a big giant. I see them as a bunch of big Epstein perverts raping the people and land. And yeah, they're gonna pay for it.